Here we go. In this video, I'm going to do a review, an updated edition of Psalm 2. Reading the Hebrew and then looking at the grammar is what I enjoy doing, the grammatical analysis with a New Testament application. So Lama Rakashu, it's actually a psalm where there's a plot against God's king that is being anointed. Some apply it to when the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over Jerusalem, they came up against him in 2 Samuel 5:17. That could be the context. And but let me just read it. There's actually going to be several movements. First of all, we see the nations plotting against God's coronated king. Lama rakashu goyim ule umim yegurik yityatsubu malche eretz verozanim nosadu yachad al Adonai ve'al Mashicho nineteka et moserotemo benashlicha mimenu abotemo. Why do the nations rage and the peoples meditate a vain thing? Ragashu is the cow perfect third person plural from ragash, to rage or to be in uproar. And yegu is from haggah, to meditate or mumble a vain thing. It's the cow imperfect third masculine plural from haggah. Verse 2, Yityatzavuu malchei eretz verozanim nosadu yachad. The kings of the earth take their stand together, and the rulers take counsel together. Al Adonai ve'al Mashicho. Yityatzavu is a hitpael imperfect third masculine plural from yatzav, to stand up. They're standing up together, the kings of the earth. Verozanim and the rulers, no sadu, take counsel together. From yasad are taking counsel. A nifal perfect third person plural from yasad, historically vasad, so it became now sadu, becoming no sadu. Al Adonai ve'al Mashicho, against the Lord and against his anointed. Ninateka et moserotemu v'nashlicha mimenu abotemo. Let us break their bands asunder, let us cast their cords from us. Ninateka is a PL, imperfect first person plural from natag. So it's a cohortative in this PL stem, first person plural, cohortative. So let us break their bands asunder, let us cause to cast their cords from us. Venashlicha, from shalach, to cast away. It's a hifil, imperfect, cohortative, first person plural. Let us cast from us avotemo, their cords. They want to break away. And this had to do possibly with the Philistines against David and his coronation. But in the New Testament, in the book of Acts, it's applied to Christ and the cross, especially in Acts chapter 4 and what was going on at that time. Then we move to verse 4. Yoshev b'shamayim yischak, Adonai yolag lamo. The one who sits in the heavens will laugh. The Lord will hold them in derision, or will jeer at them. Yoshev is a cow perfect participle from yashav, masculine singular, a singular participle. So the one who sits in the heavens, yischak, will laugh. Cow imperfect third masculine singular from sachak. The Lord will jeer at them. Yil'ag is a cow imperfect third masculine singular from la'ag. That is, to jeer or to laugh at them, at what they're doing. Then he will speak unto them in his anger, and he will terrify them in his wrath. Yedaber is from Davad. It's a PL imperfect, third masculine singular from Davad with the Shabbat Pathak doubling of the middle radical. Then he will speak unto them in his anger or wrath, Uvacharono Yevahalemo, and really terrify them in his displeasure or anger. Yevahalemu is another PL, a third masculine singular from Bahal, followed by the pronominal suffix in the amo, third person masculine plural. Then in verse 6, he goes on to say, Va'ani nasakti malki Zion har kodeshi, but I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. Nasakti means to install, the cow perfect, first common singular from nasak, and it's emphatic. I have installed my king, Zion, upon Zion, my holy mountain. And then verse 7, the king speaks. This has been Yahweh speaking. The king says, Asapra el chok, Adonai amar elai, beni ata, ani hayom yeleticha. I will declare concerning the decree. The Lord said unto me, my son, you are. I today have begotten you. Notice here, Asapra is from Safar, to declare. It's a PL imperfect first common singular. I will declare concerning the decree. The Lord has said unto me, Beniata, my son, you are. We're reminded in the New Testament, this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased, concerning Christ. Ani hayom yeliticha, I today have given birth to you. Yeliticha is from Yalad. It's the cow perfect first common singular with the pronominal suffix second masculine singular in the cha. So I today from Yalad, I have given birth to you. We're looking at the coronation day. In the New Testament, this was applied to the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And we see this in the book of Acts, especially in Acts 13, I believe. Then we move on. Sha'al mimeni ve'etana goyim nachalatecha v'achuzatecha avse adas. Ask from me, and I will give the nations for your inheritance and the uttermost parts of the earth for your possession. Sha'al is a cow imperative masculine singular from Sha'al. Ask from me, and I will give etana from Natan, the cow imperfect first person singular from Natan. Entana becomes etana, where the noon of the stem by progressive assimilation has gone into the top. I will give the nations for your inheritance, v'achuzatecha avse adas, and the ends of the earth for your possession. All you have to do is ask of me, and I'll give it all to you. Again, Jesus has been made heir of everything in Hebrews chapter 1. And the good news is believers are heirs and joint heirs with him, according to New Testament in Romans 8. So it goes on, Teruim b'shevet barzel, kikliot ser tenapet same. You will dash them or break them with a rod of iron, and you will dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel, or as a vessel of a potter, you will dash them to pieces. Teruim could come from a double ayin root, ra'ah, and if that's the case, it's the cow imperfect second masculine singular from ra'ah, followed by the pronominal suffix third masculine singular in the aim. However, if we would render it tir-aim, it could be you will shepherd them with an iron scepter, and as vessels of a potter, ten not but same, you will dash them to pieces. From nafatz to dash, another PL imperfect second masculine singular. Notice the shavah pathak doubling of the middle radical, and aim, your pronominal suffix third masculine plural. So if we take that rendering, you will shepherd them with the iron scepter. Our mind goes to Revelation, where Jesus returns and he will shepherd the nations with a rod of iron. It could be applied to that, which is the quote from the Septuagint of this particular text. So we're looking at the coronation of Christ in the resurrection, followed by his second coming, according to New Testament analysis, in verse 9, seen in Revelation chapter 20. So when we look at this, it can have a double meaning. It can be looking at the near king, whether it's David or another king, at his coronation, but then looking in a double fulfillment at Jesus Christ. We could call this an indirectly messianic psalm. So verse 10 then continues where the psalmist warns those rebelling to stop the rebellion. Va'ata melachim haskilu, hivasru shofetei aretz. And now, O king, be wise. From Sakal, Hifil, imperative, cause to be wise. Second plural, masculine plural from Sakal. Cause to be wise. Hivasru shofetei aretz. Be admonished. Here I believe we have a nifal imperative, masculine plural from Yasar. Notice the hey with the I, a vowel pattern, doubling of the vav here, because the noon of that stem has assimilated historically. In basuru becoming hivasuru. So be admonished, judges of the earth, and if do et Adonai beyirah, serve the Lord with fear. Vegilu berodah, and rejoice with trembling. If do is from avad, to serve, the cow imperative, masculine plural, serve Yahweh with fear, Vegilu berodah, and rejoice with trembling. Another imperative from Gil, masculine plural, rejoice with trembling. In other words, have a reverence for the coronated Son, which in New Testament would have reference to Christ. Nashkuvar penya anof tovadu derek ki yevar ki matapo ashrei kol hosevo. Do homage. In purity, someone would translate it. I would translate it as kiss the Son. Understanding Nashakuvar, bar is an Aramaic word that can mean son, but it can also, in a rare use, mean son in Hebrew. And I take it that way, looking at kiss the Son and respect him, and in New Testament, kiss Christ, bow down before him. Nashkur var is from Nashak. It's a PL imperative, masculine plural from Nashak. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, yet anaf from anaf, cow imperfect, third masculine singular, and you perish. But tovadu derek, tovadu is a cow imperfect, second person plural from avad, and you perish in the way. I think in understood here, ki yavad kimata po, when his wrath is quickly kindled. Kimat yevhar is to kindle, cow imperfect, third masculine singular. His wrath is kimat, quickly kindled. Ashrei kol hosevo, happy are all who take refuge in him. Ashrei means happy, and it's the ending of what starts in chapter first Psalm, Ashrei Ha'ish. Many have said Psalm 1 deals with the individual, Psalm 2 with nations. So happy are all who take refuge in him. Hosea is a participle, a cow participle, masculine plural. Here, all who take refuge in him. So we're looking in the historical context at one level at the coronation of a king, could have been David or one other king, then looking at it through the New Testament, the different steps to Jesus Christ. we have the nations raging against him, Acts 4. We have the decree that the Lord is going to set him up, and he will be king even by the statement of the king himself. And this day have I begotten you, in the New Testament applied to the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And then he's heir of all things. Hebrews chapter 1, just ask of me. Also Romans chapter 8. And I'll give you the goyim, the nations, for your inheritance. And then the final exhortation, he will shepherd the nations with a rod of iron, speaking of his second advent in the book of Revelation, when Jesus returns as Melech Melechim, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So this is a beautiful psalm with a double meaning. Many have called it an indirectly messianic psalm.